Welcome in our good friend. I believe he's, if I'm doing this right, he is first of all, he's a radio host on 93.7 The Ticket. And then also he is a contributor to Inside Husker Online, the new merging of On3 and Rivals. He just got really uncomfortable. Good morning, Sip.
Hi, Sipple.
It really didn't. It really didn't.
I guess congratulations. I guess in the On3 family, that's a lot of great, talented people that could possibly all be together.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. And I don't even think I'm allowed to comment on the business side, so I'm not going to do it. But yeah, it was a good day for On3 for sure.
Okay.
All right.
We'll
No,
leave it at that.
I think that's the way to handle it. I think very highly.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Gary.
Yeah. Tell me.
For years and years and years with the Journal Star, I never paid attention to the business side.
No.
I just didn't feel it was my place. I've just kind of continued that. I'm not a businessman. I write. So I let the people who are skilled in that area worry about that stuff.
Well, I think very highly of you, Sean, Robin, and Muntz, and I'm sure it'll work out for everybody. All right, let's talk about stuff that you can control and you can talk about. If we are doing a spring carnival or whatever next year, your chat with Troy Dannon leads you to believe it would look like what?
Oh, he didn't really. I wouldn't say he tipped his hand in any way that way. He was kind of guarded in his comments, but he did. I wrote what I wrote, and he commented on it. And I quoted him saying that he thought that people were enjoying themselves. And I agree with him. I think the people that were there enjoyed themselves, most notably the players. So now, as far as next year, I don't know what his plan would be. In my guess is neither he nor Matt Rule have a plan for next year because of the amount of shifting that goes on in college football. We don't know what we don't know what the whole thing's going to look like. So I don't think he was thinking about next year at all. My guess is that this would be a one-off. Is my guess because of and I don't say this in a disparaging way. I just think if there's 8,000 people there, well, that's significantly fewer than you would get if you did it the usual way.
What win in this upcoming Nebraska football season would tell you more about the direction of this program? If they won against Cincinnati week 1 in Arrowhead, or if they went on the road and they beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers?
Let me think about that. Okay, how did you phrase it? What would mean more?
What would tell you more about the direction of this program?
I'm telling you, I'm sorry, my phone's blowing up.
No, you're good.
I would definitely say Minnesota, unequivocally Minnesota. If Nebraska hasn't, Minnesota's had Nebraska's number a little bit, right, in recent years.
Yeah.
And that's not an easy place to win. And Minnesota's a good program now. It's a good program. I'm not saying Minnesota's a great team. They weren't last year, and I'm not saying they're going to be a great team this year. But I know it's a good program, and I know they're always going to be pretty tough to beat, and they're going to be tough to beat in Minnesota. I respect the question. I think it's an easy answer, though. It's Minnesota.
What do you know about this team post spring? It was a couple of times to watch some practice. There was still media availability, but it is what it is. It's kind of a mystery. What is a known for you that will carry you through the summer and you won't look back on what you believe about this football team?
I would tell you first that I love these conversations.
Thank you.
They're really helpful. I'm serious.
You're gonna if you write a column off this, I want credit.
Yeah.
Well,
me too.
What you just did was ask a great question. There's a lot, frankly, we don't know, and I'm not going to be the guy that pretends that I know it all here because I saw virtually nothing. So what do I know about Deshaun McCullough other than what I see on film?
Mm-hmm.
Not much. What do I know about Marquise Watson, Trent. These are two critical players. Not much. What do I know about Andrew Marshall, who could be a starting corner? Not much. What do I know about Quentin Ives? What do I know about Mekhi Nelson? Those are 2 and 3 running backs. Not much. Receivers on down the line. How's Heinrich going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a great question, and it's good. It's a good news, bad news thing. I think if you're a Nebraska fan listening, we don't really know. That could also mean that they're going to be really good, and we don't know. You know, sometimes I wonder if Rule's playing it close to the vest because he feels like he's sitting on something.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Nebraska fan, that's what you hope, that he's telling his guys, his coaches, you know, be reserved on comments about individual players. Matt's been that way.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were a Nebraska fan, what I would hope is that he just feels, let's low key it, and then we'll jump on people a little bit. It's a great. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't have a great feel for a lot of it. I have a good, but to answer your question, what I do know is they got a good quarterback. I like the quarterback, and I like what he's going to be throwing to. I'd like to know a little bit more about tight end. I'd like to know, how's Carter Nelson going to be? I'd love to know that.
Mm-hmm.
What's he going to look like in Arrowhead? You know, that's one thing I'll be watching in warm-ups. What's Carter Nelson look like? How much did Heinrich Harburg progress in August?
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel really good about the receivers because there's 3 really proven guys there. You know, the top 3: Dane Keene, Isaiah Hunter, Ja'Cory Barney. There's those guys. You know what you have a pretty good handle on what you're going to get. I think we have a pretty good handle on Cortez Mills, but hasn't done it at the college level.
No.
But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot I just don't know.
I think we're on agreement that the next year for Troy Dannon is going to be pretty big, right? Navigating the college football landscape and the impending Memorial Stadium project is going to be a really big deal as well. But we're at the point now where he has been the athletic director for over a year. And so, Sip, from his actions and from the conversations that you've had with him, what have been your main takeaways from the first 13 months of the Troy Dannon athletic department era?
My main takeaways?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my biggest takeaway is he's a leader. Like, he's a bona fide leader. He is Matt Rule's boss. It's not the other way around. And I think that's significant in this conversation because I think right out of the gate you wondered a little bit what that dynamic was going to look like. I think I really have a good impression of Troy. It's mostly just an impression, though. He made a good kind of made an obvious hire in volleyball. Now, here's the thing, Matt. And this is why I'm kind of stumbling around on the question. Okay. I don't really judge ADs. I mean, and if I do, it's mostly about what? Couple high-profile hires, football coach, men's basketball. That's how I generally judge an AD. So he hasn't done that, you know. I mean, he does have this massive project staring at him, this Memorial Stadium project, but there's nothing to judge at this point, right? We don't know where it's going to go. But I would say this, my overall impression of him as a leader, I think he's a strong leader. And I can say this, too. So I'm speaking, it was September, and I was blown away. I mean, his command of a room is really strong, but also his knowledge, his working knowledge of all that his job entails was incredible to me. Right now it's not easy for an AD because you're having to field a lot of questions that are you don't know the answer, but you got to give them something, and that's not easy. I think I really think they have a strong AD over there. I'll tell you one thing right now. I'm not worried about that position at all. At all. There's nothing that would tell me there's no red flag. There's nothing of that sort. I think they got a strong AD over there right now.
Do you think also that and he's not an AD, but he's the football coach, but sometimes he thinks like an AD, that this is the first time maybe since Callahan Peterson that the football coach has a louder voice with the AD?
I wonder about that. I don't have a great feel for their dynamic. I don't. I really don't, Gary. I'm not avoiding the question. I don't have a great feel for that. I'm not going to pretend I do. I hate to speculate on something like that too. I don't like to speculate on people's relationships, be it personal or working or both. I don't know.
Hey, so
I did have I had a great feel for Frost Albert. It wasn't a good relationship at all. I had a great feel for Riley Eichhorst. That was a very good working relationship. Bo Pliny Eichhorst was awful. I mean, it was as bad as you could ever imagine. So I've had a good feel for some, but I don't have a good feel for this one.
Hey, let's back to a running back, and this kind of goes back to the question earlier about what do you know? And Marty Brown goes to Miami. Matt Rule tells us every day about Quentin Ives. There's Mekhi Nelson. There's a lot of unknown behind the main guy. But how much do you think any angst would be if a guy who, highly recruited, Nebraska got a win out of St. Louis, but then he got here and we went, man, he's from 175 to 190, but he spent more time on the bike than he did on the field. If Jamarian Parker was like not necessarily beating out Emmett Johnson, but was in the mix, how much different would you feel about the running back room today? If you have some angst about it.
Yeah, way different. But that, like you said, that kind of falls under the category of unknown, right? Jamarian Parker, in our eyes at least. Like maybe if Jamarian Parker would make a big push in August, I would feel much better about not getting Shamir Brown. I'm in the camp that I thought they needed it. I mean, I thought it was a need. That's just my read, though. It feels like the way Nebraska dealt with it, that they didn't necessarily feel like it was a significant need. I thought my read on the situation is they needed it. But your question's a good one. If Jamarian Parker is ready to roll, if they've seen enough of him that they think, oh no, we're fine, then changes the conversation. But how do you know? Especially in our shoes. How do you know?
Yeah. Have fun for all those magazines out there like the Phil Steele's of writing a preview about Nebraska football this upcoming year.
Yeah, I mean, Phil does a really good job, though, and I think he talks directly to the head coaches. So he'll probably have quite a bit.
Yeah, he loves watching that spring game. This year he will be watching a blank channel. Sip, have a wonderful weekend. This year, yay or nay, running in the Lincoln Marathon?
Oh.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I got to ask every year.
No Lincoln Marathon.
Dang it.
Okay. All right. Well, have a great weekend. We're into the off season. Enjoy it, my friend.
Thank you for including me. I appreciate it.
Hey.